Jump scare? No, I'm playing. I know I am normally dolled up for our radio talks, but I am trying this new thing where if I immediately feel something in my spirit, instead of limiting myself to having to look a certain way on the internet, I will just immediately record something so that I can get it off my brain and it can be fresh. And I just wanted to try it one good time. I won't jump scare y'all next time, I promise. But we're natural today. Don't you love when it kind of still tea when it's all natural? I do. Anyways, welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk About It Radio. I am your host, Ayanna.Jahnee. I want to tell y'all about a dream I had that ties into today's topic, which is there is more on the other side of what you're currently experiencing. And in this dream, I am on a rooftop with this CeeLo green Rick Ross-esque of a man. And as we're vibing, me and CeeLo Rick Ross, I turn around and behind me is this woman. And she's quite literally on stilts. And CeeLo Rick Ross was like, what the hell? And I was like, no, for real. Like, why is this woman on those stilts? Because mind y'all, in my dream, again, we were on a rooftop vibing. So in my head, in the dream, I'm like, we have to be more than 40 stories up. And this woman is basically dangling above us. We can see her clearly on these stilts. And while she's doing that, she's headed in a different direction. Me and CeeLo Green Rick Ross are sitting in this direction. So I turn around in this direction to see her, right? And as I am observing her, there was another woman there. And she was questioning me. She was like, what are you doing? And I was like, girl, I'm vibing with CeeLo Rick Ross. What are you doing? And she was like, I'm just checking on you. And I was like, okay, who is this lady? Is this somebody's mother? And I look at her and I say, do you see that lady behind you? I'm like, what is she doing? She said, sometimes it's hard to find things on maps. Sometimes you just need to see where you're at. That is what that random lady told me when I asked her what that other random lady on the stilts was doing. Okay. When I tell y'all in the dream, you know how in dreams, sometimes you're like in one space and then you're immediately in another space that might be more familiar than the first space you were in. Quite literally after that woman says that phrase, I'm back in my house looking for a piece of paper and a pen to write that down because I'm like, oh shit, that was kind of good. And in the dream, I don't remember finding the piece of paper or the pen. I just remember hearing my alarm clock go off and I'm like, awake. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what just happened? And so immediately when I wake up, I go to my desk, I write down what the lady said about the woman on the stilts. And I have not been able to get over that dream since then. Because my friend said this, shout out Zaymali. When I shared the dream with her, she was like, that sounds like you're focused on the things that are right immediately in front of you. And you need to be focusing on what's ahead of you. And I was like, oh, girl, you better get into that read. The reason why I want y'all to focus on the more that's on the other side of what you're currently experiencing is because on Tuesdays, before I started doing this radio show, on Tuesdays were my day to brain rot. I had nothing to do. I'm off. I don't have anything to do. I have nowhere to go if there were no previous plans made. So I would sit in the house and I would watch TV, or I would just find ways to preoccupy myself, which was more than likely scrolling, eating snacks, very like mundane things that really don't feed my purpose in life. But I had grown so accustomed to doing that I found myself struggling so much to just sit at my computer and edit my video. I'm going to be honest. I got to be transparent about it. If we going to get down and dirty and we going to talk about deep things and be able to help each other out and grow from these things and come out on the other side of these issues that we're having as creatives, I got to be real. So this was my third Tuesday in a row where I would have had to sit at my desk and take 7 to 8 hours to just getting a solid video of where I wanted the video to go. Child, I did not feel like it. I was not in the mood, child. And so I didn't do anything. I just didn't. Now I'm going to do something tonight. But yesterday I had all day to get something done, and I ultimately chose not to show up for myself. And that's on me. Boo, boo, tomatoes, tomatoes, tomatoes. I am now learning when you have a calling and you have a purpose in your life, and you need to stop focusing on what's directly in front of you and you need to be focused on what's ahead of you, you start to see the dots really connect. And today I was on my way to work and I'm listening to this podcast, and this guy is speaking about how you have to show up for yourself. You have to force yourself to be consistent, because if you do not, you will never be successful. There is not one person that doesn't get the feeling of burnout, that doesn't eventually feel like, is this even worth my time? And I think that's where you start to weed out some of the things that are internally happening within you. And a lot of what we experience online is instant gratification. We post that picture that we feel like we look cute in. We do that one thing, that really cool thing, and we post about it and we show the people, and maybe in that moment, we're having that dopamine rush because people are commenting, people are liking it, people are sharing it. And in that moment, you're getting so much satisfaction from that dopamine rush that that's enough for you in the moment. And you're satisfied to some degree, but that's not healthy because the work is still not done. Just because you get the instant gratification on something minuscule, like a post of you being cute or something of that nature, or you doing something cool, you traveling or whatever, does not mean you're going to get that same instant gratification or see the growth or see the engagement that you're looking for, that you want to take much further than just a simple post. If I go back and I look at the numbers on my last 3 Let's Talk About It radio episodes, I'm going to want to throw up. But it's not about the views. It's not about the likes. I appreciate the people that are tuning in. I love y'all for it. And I'm so grateful that y'all even take the time to listen to me talk about these things. But I can't rely on views, and I cannot rely on likes. I can't rely on people subscribing. I can't rely on people following me for me to continue to show up for myself each and every day. I can't allow myself to see that alone, because that is just what's right in front of me. That is all I can visually see. What I cannot see is the other side of my consistency, right? Because I'm not there yet. This is only episode 4. I have not gotten to the place where I'm on episode 100, and maybe at that point I got a few things going for myself, but I'm not there yet. And it's getting to a place where it doesn't matter what's happening now. It doesn't matter what's not happening now, because that's the thing that's immediately in front of me. And what we need to be focusing on are the things on the other side of what we're currently experiencing. So if we constantly stay in the lull or stay in the mindset that nothing is happening the way we want it to happen immediately, because we want that dopamine rush and we want that immediate gratification, then we're never going to get anywhere, because we're going to stop before we even really get started. And I want to encourage y'all not to do that, okay? Let's take a break and let's get into some music. Today's song is, surprise, surprise, another original of mine, and it's called Other Side. And Other Side is about experiencing the lowest of lows in your life, having so much turmoil, having so much strife, going through trials and tribulations, and making it to the other side of it because you didn't give up, you didn't stop, you were consistent, and you made it. You made it to the other side. And it's really just an anthem for those who have been through so much, those who have gone through hell and back. And even in the midst of all of their struggles and all of the things that have tried to stop them, they came out on the other side to see the beauty of life. They came out on the other side to seeing what it looks like to be consistent, what it looks like to show up for yourself, what it looks like to say, you know what, I did not come this far to give up. So, in honor of the topic of today's episode, I would like for you all to listen to my song, Other Side, I Made It. That was one of the songs from my Mother Nature album that is not yet re-released. It was taken down. But again, when it is out, I will definitely be resharing it with y'all, putting it up on all streaming platforms for y'all to hear it and vibe out to it. But I really do hope y'all enjoy Other Side, I Made It by me. And we will be right back with more Let's Talk About It Radio.
It's been a long night. My mind's truly exhausted. But then I see the sunrise. So I hope it's not lost here. If you could see the things that I've seen, if you could hear the things that I've heard, if you could feel the things that I've felt, darling, you would be so unnerved. But I made it. Yeah, I made it to the other side. I made it to the other side. Look up and see the sunrise. I made it through the darkest times when you get all in your head and you feel it in your chest, 'cause things ain't going the way you planned, and you're praying for your blessing. Come too far to turn around. All I'm saying, I made it to the other side. Yeah, I made it to the other side. Look up and see the sunrise over the horizon. Yeah, I made it to the other side. There's a light in the darkness, a light at the end. The light is my faith, the light is my friend. Mother Nature.
And we are back, darlings. I hope you enjoyed my song, Other Side, I Made It. Again, that was on my Mother Nature album. When I re-release it, I will let y'all know. But until then, I do hope y'all enjoyed that. It ties into the topic because it's about knowing and believing, even when you can't see it, even when it hasn't happened just yet, knowing and trusting that there is more on the other side of what you're currently experiencing. And that is just a message to encourage others to continue to press forward. Even when things are hard and even when things don't feel like they're going anywhere, keep on showing up. Keep on doing what you're doing. Don't worry about the person to the left or to the right of you. Don't worry about what people think. Don't worry about what people say. But if I want to see true success, if I want to see longevity, like I know a lot of you creatives out there want to as well. I know y'all want longevity in the things that y'all create and the ideas that y'all have and the business ventures that you all seek out. I know that you want to be able to have longevity in that and be able to see the outcome of what it looks like to really show improve. I know that I can't expect more if I don't do more. If I don't start making the necessary changes it's going to take for me to be able to really experience what that more looks like in my mind, which is why, I'm talking about that bird's eye view, that lens, because it's like I have to see things from above and beyond, like the lady on the stilts. I have to see above and beyond where I currently am and not get so wrapped up in the views and the likes and all of these things so that I can continue to push forward. Because otherwise, on Tuesdays, I will revert back to doing nothing. I will revert back to being like, well, I'm off today. I have nothing to do. If nobody makes plans with me, I don't want to get back to that person. That person was yesterday's Ayanna, and today's Ayanna is going to have to stay consistent. So as much as I dread the accountability partner situation because I don't want to make a promise that I cannot keep, I don't like to oversell and underdeliver. That is not my way. I hate that, but I need y'all to be my accountability partners. Oh, I said it. I said it. So if y'all don't see me come on here every single week, get on my ass. Yeah, get on my ass. Friends, family, be like, what episode that be? What episode that? But I'll be your accountability partner too. If you want to tell me in the comments what you need help staying accountable for, best believe I'm gonna be on that ass too. So we just gonna work together on making sure we show up and show out for the respective things that we're trying to do. Because again, this episode is about knowing that there is more on the other side of what you're currently experiencing. And the only way we can see more is if we continue to do the small things and the small steps that it's going to take each and every day to really being able to obtain that success that we're looking for. Fuck that dopamine rush. Fuck them likes. Fuck that instant gratification. Keep on showing up. Keep on turning out the content. Keep on turning out the ideas, writing things down every day. And even though it may not seem like anything is happening, it seems like small steps, incremental steps. Those small steps amount to something in the end. That is why you have to be focused on the other side of what you're currently experiencing versus being caught up in what you're seeing in the immediate. Because I have got to be comfortable in those small baby steps, because if I'm constantly concerned about making mistakes, not getting it right the first time, then I am not going to be able to see the other side of what I'm currently experiencing. Because me working out for a year, y'all, I knew that within my clothing, I had lost weight, but I have body dysmorphia. So I was being told I look smaller, all of these things, and even my clothes were starting to fit differently. I had taken a picture of myself in August, and then I take a picture of myself in February, and child, when I tell you I was flabbergasted that I look so damn good. But the point is, January 29th, 2024, I could not have foreseen February 2025. I could not have known that that was what I was going to look like. Me, January 29th, 2024, I could not look at my weight. I could not look at the big booty, beautiful, snatched women in the gym. I could not constantly asphyxiate on the pretty girlies on Instagram or TikTok. I couldn't do that January 29th, 2024, because if I had, that would have put a blocker on me. That would have put a marker in my mind that I have to look like that by a certain time. And if you think about it, what I physically felt like I experienced, I felt like I was in the gym consistently and I was seeing certain small incremental changes, but I wasn't seeing the results I really wanted. But had I stopped in August, because I still looked heavy, because I still wasn't where I wanted to be. By the time February came around and I took that side-by-side photo from August 2024 to February 2025, had I been so consumed with what was right in front of me in that mirror or on that photo that I took of myself those times prior to February 2025, I would have never gotten to this version of myself today. So all I'm saying is there is something more on the other side of what you're currently experiencing, and all it takes is for you to constantly be aware of that, so that you can actively move towards the things and focus your mind on the right things. Let those negative thoughts go and really fill your time, your space, your diet, because your diet consists of the things you watch, the things you listen to, the things you read, more than just the things you eat, sweetie. Your diet is all the above. Whatever sensors you have, that's a part of your diet, baby. So because I understand that it's a mind, body, soul connectivity kind of thing that's going on, hone into that and taking a step back, being able to see things for what they actually are versus what you want them to currently be, that's important. Don't make up some random thing in your mind that it's supposed to be at a certain time frame, certain trajectory, because you start comparing yourself to other people, you start looking around and you start feeling like you're behind, sweetie. No, you are absolutely right where you need to be in the appointed time that you needed to be there. But sometimes it takes a little more time than others because people have to be able to receive the lesson that they're supposed to be learning so that they don't have to constantly learn it over and over again, and they have to start applying it to their lives so that they can start really living in the blessings, living in the vision, living in their purpose the way that they were intended to the whole time. So yes, y'all, continue to reframe your mind, reframe your days, get out of that hamster wheel of life, show up for yourself, be consistent, don't give up even when you don't get that immediate gratification. Let all of those things go so that you can make room for the other side of what you are currently experiencing, because sweetie, there is more waiting for you there. That is today's radio topic, y'all. I really do hope y'all enjoyed it. Again, I am your host, Ayanna.Jahnee, and I can't wait to hear what y'all have to say in the comments. Please, y'all, let's talk about it. Let's go deeper into this topic so that we can be each other's accountability partners and so that we can really help each other out. Until next time, I hope all of you out there listening remember that there is more on the other side of what you're currently experiencing, and I hope you continue to show up for yourself. Bye.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yeah. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.